Big thanks to Bernhard for sponsoring this episode.
Hey, I'm Pitmaster X, and today I'm gonna be cooking not one, not two, but 3 beautiful pig roasts. But before I'm gonna talk to you about these pig roasts, we're gonna talk about our website, pitmasterx.com. All of the best barbecue recipes are on that website. If you're gonna go there, you're gonna find amazing stuff. It's gonna keep you cooking for months at a time. This is what I'm talking about. Look at it, a beautiful, well, it's not a giant pork roast. It's like a smaller ham of pork. Still raw, and it's not brined, it's like the raw version of anything. And I've cooked these things a couple of times, made videos on them, and I just can't help myself. I gotta go back to them every single time because these things are amazing. The good thing about this pork is the skin part. When it crispens up and it's nice and salty, it's absolutely amazing. But the problem with this pork is that the flavor of the meat is a kind of blend because it's a young pig and it could be so much flavorful. That's why I'm going to cook it in a special way today. We're going to make this as flavorful as I possibly can make it. First thing that I want to do is make sure that these skins are dried out. We want to absorb all of the moisture out of the skin. So I'm going to make a base out of salt. And for this I'm going to use coarse sea salt, and this is going to suck all of the moisture out of that skin. And then it's just a matter of time for the salt to do its magic and draw the moisture out. I'm going to repeat that process for all 3 of the hams. This technique is called dry brining, and it's an ancient technique of curing meats. Now this is going to add a lot of flavor to the skin, draw out the moisture, and potentially also starts to brine our pork meat. But of course we want to add more to it. So I'm going to start by sprinkling on a little bit of that sea salt. Then I'm going to sprinkle on some fennel powder, and this is amazing stuff. It will make your pork taste like pancetta. Next I'm going to sprinkle on some fresh parsley. Of course we gotta have some fresh garlic as well. Some fresh ground black pepper. And then a final topping of that coarse sea salt to draw the moisture out of these herbs. Because the salt is going to generate an osmosis effect and draw the flavors into the meat. They're all done, and I'm going to set them in the fridge for 2 days. Good morning! Well, it's 2 days after we put this in the fridge. It's morning, the sun's out, and we got beautiful weather, but more importantly, we got these beautiful hams. Look at them. The salt drew out all the moisture from the skin. We got the herbs sitting on top, penetrating into the meat. Look at how good this all looks. So without further ado, we're going to fire up our Bernhard smoker and put this in. Now that our Bernhard is fired up, we can add our beautiful pork hams. But of course, I want to keep check of the temperature. So I'm sticking in my core thermometer, and there we go. Now, there's salt on the back of this, but I'm just going to leave this on because that salt is going to help render down any fat. It's going to crispen up the skin. It's going to keep it nice and salty. So we're going to leave everything as it is. I'm going to set it in our smoker. I'm going to start skin side down because we're going to need to dry it out. There we go. Look, scooch over. It's just gonna fit. Now the good thing is when the temperature goes up, the meat tightens up and we get more space, so we get more room for the smoke to curl around the meat. I'm gonna be cooking this at a temperature of 160 degrees Celsius because this is from a younger pig with a lot of fat, and that means that we can cook it at high temperatures because the fat will render down, and the good thing is the meat is going to shrink up so that the smoke can curl around during the cook. My temperature is telling me we're hitting around the 80 degrees Celsius core temperature, which means we're getting closer to the point where we need to pull it off. Around 16 degrees more will be perfect, but I want to know where my skin's at. Whoa, look at these beauties, insane. They look fantastic. We see a lot of smoke coming, a lot of fats rendering down. What I'm interested in is that skin that sits on the bottom. Is it getting harder? And yes, it is. This is looking good. I see absolutely spot on colors and I don't see any burns. This is what I'm looking out for. If it starts burning, we need to flip it around. But the way it's going right now, it looks absolutely perfect because that skin is the barrier that prevents the radiation heat that's going up to dry out the meat, and at the same time it's starting to crispen up. Absolutely fantastic. Our pork is done, and what I mean by that is that we've reached the desired temperature, which is around 92 to 94, but it's going to keep on raising in temperature while we let it rest. So what I want to do is take the pork off right now and look at it. We're going to let this rest. But before we're going to do that, I want to take off the skin and let me show you why. Look at that beautiful skin. Nice and crackling. Absolutely gorgeous. You see, when you're resting meat, you want the juices to flow back and basically everything is getting moist, even those crispy parts on the outside. But when you got skin on, you don't want the crispy skin to turn juicy again. So we're going to take the skin off and let it air dry. Now I'm going to take the rest of the meat and wrap it up. I'm going to pack the whole thing together and now I'm going to let it steam. First order of business is figuring out if we made that pork taste good. So basically, we had all the ingredients on, we wanted to have tasty pork, so there we go. It's flavorful, but it's kind of funny because it has that typical pancetta flavor, but it's not pancetta. It's like messing with your mind. The flavor went into the pork. It was good. 2 days in the fridge works magic. Beautiful outside, Italian style flavors. You must enjoy garlic a little bit if you make this recipe. Putting garlic on like this, it's a bit much.
Everything that you saw on top, like the garlic and all the herbs, they actually went into and you still taste it. Like, especially the garlic, man. I love garlic. What I like about this cut is like you have different kinds of textures inside of that big piece of meat. So you have a little bit pull here. That's just wonderful, like pulled pork flavor. This even got more flavor than the rest, man.
All right, now we got crispy skin. Man, chicharrones ain't got nothing on me.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. I want another piece. This is crazy good.
This is the best part.
This is the best part.
It always stays the best part. How do you like the herbs? Isn't the garlic a little bit too much? Overpowering?
No, not for me.
No?
No.
I'm not a big garlic guy.
Yeah.
I like garlic.
What? You're not a big garlic guy?
No, I'm not the biggest. Like, some people are like insane garlic people.
Yeah. I won't say names.
We won't mention names, but he's bold. You know enough.
Comment down below if you know who he is.
Yeah. If you get the inside joke, comment down below. Then you can plate it up with whatever you want, and it's gonna be good. Like sauerkraut, potatoes, beer, like a Chinese dish, a little bit of cabbage, carrots, whatever you fancy. All is good. All is good.
Yeah.
Happy?
I'm really happy.
Hey, whoa.
I'm sorry.
We forgot the best team member.
Thank you guys for watching. I want to thank all the patrons and the YouTube members. Hope to see you guys next time. Eet smakelijk.
And keep on grilling.
Keep on grilling. You know the mystery man we're talking about? I've seen him like, he has a giant jar.
Giant jars of garlic.
Like this size.
Fresh giant jars of garlic. And then he just puts the blender in.
Yeah, but the weird thing
adds
is
a little bit mayonnaise and he calls it a sauce.
he always takes it with him. And like he goes across the globe.
He has dealers everywhere around the world.
It's weird, man.